it's important to put yourself on mute if you're not using earbuds or headphones. Otherwise, it can cause some feedback for other people, and that can make it difficult. So thank you all for coming. I'm going to get started. I'm going to begin by using the slides that I have posted to Desire to Learn. If you want to find them, they're in the general information folder on D2L. And I just posted a link to obtain them directly in the chat box. Now I'm going to begin sharing my screen so that you can see what my screen is showing. You may need to fudge that and fidget with it a little bit if you want to see Desire to Learn on one side of your screen and what I'm showing you on the other. Then you could follow along. That might be useful. So it's really good to see you all. I've been thinking of you, and I think that you've probably had a really, I think the technical term is crappy last week or so. It's been really difficult. And I really admire your perseverance and your courage and being on the ball enough to know that this is happening and to figure out how to show up in here and all that. And that's not to be taken for granted. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. It's really scary. And your commitment to your work is clear in your ability to adjust to this and to figure all this out so far. I mean, this is fantastic. So what I want to do today for about a half hour is run through what changes there are in Desire to Learn and show you a little bit about how every week will go for the last 5 weeks of our course. And here's my plan for how I want to go through this. I want to say, first of all, that I'd like to think about this week as sort of a test run. So there is work due, but it's a little bit on the lighter side. And the point of it is to be sure that everybody's showing up and that everybody is figuring out how to participate. At the same time, we will be working with the content of this week's religion, which is Judaism. But I also want you to know that I think of this week as sort of like us kind of getting our wheels rolling and figuring out how this goes. Second, I posted a survey on the Desire to Learn page, and about 7 or 8 of you have given your answers to it. This is just sort of optional for whoever happened to catch it. So I want to talk through some of the things that some of you said, because your comments were really right on. First of all, this is bullshit. One of you said that that's correct. This is a terrible situation. It's not fair that it should happen to you right when you're getting going with college. A lot of you talked about kind of missing seeing your friends and school and all of this. And yeah, I miss seeing everybody too. I miss my work friends and I miss seeing my students. And I think you should acknowledge that. It sucks. The suck is there. Yes, look at it. And indeed, it sucks. Yes. On the other hand, several of you had constructive like comments and things that you wanted to say would be important to make this work. And one of you in particular pointed out communication. Communication between students and the professor for an online course is really important. And the fact that you already know that shows me that we're probably going to be fine. Some of you asked if we could walk through how to do the quizzes and how to do the discussions, and I can help you with that. And one of you were saying if there was some kind of a structure to help us keep track of where the assignments are, what's due, and how to submit it, that would be useful. And I put something in place for that, and I will show you what that is during this particular meeting. So survey responses right on. The survey will continue to be open for a while, so feel free to send me your comments that way. They are coming to me anonymously through there, so be honest. Tell me how you're doing, what you need, what's working, what's not working. Next, I want to talk about the weekly routine. And to talk about that, I want to show you 3 different resources that you can use to keep track of how each week is going. I'll begin with the syllabus. So it would be helpful. I know that you're probably looking at Desire to Learn already, but if you could just grab the syllabus, and I'll show you my copy of it here too. See if I can get this out of the way. Page 4 of the syllabus. 4. You've probably already noticed that the syllabus, the new material in the syllabus is in red text, and all of the text that's black is the same as it was with the original syllabus draft that we were working with. But what I posted here on page 4 is a description of what your weekly work will look like, so that the routine will be the same every week. So by Sunday evening, the next week that's starting up will be available to you, will become visible on Desire to Learn, possibly before then, but by then at the latest. Pretty much any work that's due will be due by Friday at 11 p.m. So when in doubt, for any kind of an assignment, think Friday by 11 p.m. Let's just make it the same for everything of whatever given week. The only exception to that would be discussion boards. If there is a discussion taking place during that week in one of the discussion boards, then each student will need to do 2 posts. The first post will be like starting a thread and submitting your first thoughts about it. And the second post would be a response to something that some other student said. First posts will always be due Wednesday evening. And that's what I mean by point number 3 here in the weekly schedule on the syllabus. So in order to do that post, you should have your readings read in order to be prepared to make the comments that you want to make. And if there's any videos or lectures assigned to watch for that week, those should be ingested and read, and you should be prepared to talk about those by Wednesday evening, at least well enough to make your first post. And then by Friday evening at 11 p.m., your second posts or your second post should be posted, and any quizzes or any other like smaller writing assignments that might be due are all due in the Dropbox by Friday at 11 p.m. So that is the first place to look to get a sense of how the weeks will go. The second place to look is the course schedule and the syllabus, just like before. I'm scrolling through my syllabus here. And you can see that in the red writing is a description of the assignments, kind of in vague and brief terms that are due for any given week. I will be continually updating that section of the syllabus as we go forward. As you can see, I'm done with Judaism, and I'm all set with Islam. But Christianity, I'm still kind of working on some of the details. So I'll be constantly updating the syllabus to give more detail to those portions of the syllabus about what's due week by week. So I recommend whenever you do need to check the syllabus to see what's going on, download the newest version on Desire to Learn so that you know you're looking at the current version. The third thing to look at to know what is due and where do I submit it and what kind of work am I supposed to be doing, and here's my cat, and I just should let you know that will be something that happens here. Because, nope, sorry, dude, not right now. There are cats and they show up. Within every week, there is a checklist. And when you look there, you will find a complete list of everything that's due. And you will see a link that can take you to wherever you're supposed to submit the thing that's due. Let me explain what I mean. This is for you to use if you want to. But I'm not going to be checking your own checking off of the checklists. It's just for you to use if you need to. So I'm looking in the content area right now on D2L. You should be able to see that. And I'm scrolling down to weeks 10 and 11, which we're beginning right now, which is on Judaism. At the top of that folder is the checklist for the Judaism weeks. If you can click on that, you will see I have it broken down into week 10, which is where we are right now, and week 11, which starts next Monday or Tuesday. So right in here, I will list every activity that you need to do for any given week, plus any information that you need to do it. Like right here, there's an online meeting and I'm attending it, and here's the information for it so I can check it. Also this week, there is a video lecture on Judaism, and the slides for that lecture are here, and the video for the lecture, which is already recorded and posted, is here. And after you've watched that, cha-ching, does that make sense? So in the checklist, you can find all that stuff for any given religion. And within that folder for that religion, all those materials are here. But I think that the checklist is an easier way to keep track of it, because with them just listed like this, it's hard to tell what is what. So That I think is the most helpful thing for figuring out what you're supposed to hand in and how you're supposed to hand it in. Every week, in general, there will be a discussion board and a quiz. There may be some exceptions to that. For example, this week, there is no discussion board. We're kind of trying to keep it a little bit light because we're just easing into this. But next week, there'll be a quiz and a discussion board. In addition to whatever assignments are due to finish the final paper, those are the main things. And each of those will receive a grade. And at the end of the semester, that portion of the grade, the lowest of your weekly online assignment grades, will be dropped. So, do you have any questions for me at this point? If you do, feel free to unmute or uh, send me a chat message. I'll just pause for a second to see how we're doing.